On this week's episode, we talk about The Accountant 2.
And the pop culture news.
Are we sure about that title? Because I noticed in the opening card of the movie, it's The Accountant, but then the 2 is written as an exponent. So is it The Accountant squared?
I don't know.
Accountant to the power of 2?
I don't know. Maybe that's how autistic people see too.
No, I just feel like in a movie largely based on the idea of savantism, you should get these things right.
Anyway, I think the poster has it's. I don't know.
It's a regular 2.
It's a regular 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just being pedantic and.
It's always people trying to
silly.
do something cute and different. Right?
It's like a movie but mathy.
Later we're gonna talk about the sequel for Ready or Not. The sequel is named Ready or Not. Here I Come.
See, that's how you name a sequel. Not to dredge up the past or beat a dead horse that really doesn't matter anymore. But now you see me too.
Even again, right? Now you see me again.
That could have been better. Yeah, that would have been better. But yeah.
Like I know what you did last summer. The sequel is I still know what you did last summer.
Oh, see? There you go. There you go.
Well, back to The Accountant 2.
Right. So this reunites everybody, just about everybody from the first one. We've got Ben Affleck, of course, as the titular accountant. John Bernthal returns as his brother. We also have our, was she an FBI? The Treasury agent? The government agent person. Woman comes back. He's still got his team. He's got his British voice on the phone.
Well, now he has a. Well, let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
But there's a expansion on the side of Justine in Harbor Bay. What they do? Yeah. The girl in the chair, the oracle type of character.
Yes.
Now she has some interns.
So it brings them all back, and now they've got a bigger mystery to solve as things unfold. This one I felt like was less accounting and financial stuff. It starts off kind of in that realm, like here's a whole bunch of information. We don't really know what's going on, but there's something going on, and so he sorts that all out, and then it shifts into our like action hero, save all the people, find the bad guy, rescue the kids.
Buddy cop, like brothers working together, and the dynamic is very, very entertaining, very funny moments. It feels like they tweaked a little bit of the Ben Affleck's character. He's I don't know if I could say that, if it's even proper, but he's less autistic. He's more normal. No, more no. He's less locked into his his ways. But again, it has been 8 years, and they say that in the movie, it has been 8 years since the previous movie. And I mean, being so smart, we assume that he learned and practiced more on how to fit in society. As a matter of fact, there was a point in the first movie he dealt with Anna Kendrick's character, and he learned a lot from her. So because it sounds like before that he was very methodic, very dogmatic about what he did. He would do what he needed to do and leave. He would not interact with the human normal world, and she would be like sort of the first. And he learned from her, and I guess after that he tried to learn from other people, and making him doing so all sorts of different than the original character things, weird things like even dating. But anyways,
yeah, and I'm really curious about how like the autistic community is receiving this film and what they think about perceptions or the portrayals rather of autism, and particularly like savantism and all that in the movie. Like, to what extent is this just like a fun Hollywood version? Is this being perceived as like respectful, dramatized?
I mean,
I don't know. I'm curious.
It's a
is it perpetuating like incorrect stereotypes? I don't know.
It's a two-edged sword, right? because at the same time they show them as almost superhumans in some aspects. They are criminals, so I guess it balances it out, right? Show them as awesome, or show them as criminals. So
Yeah, but they're more like anti-heroes.
yeah,
Sort of.
The officer,
like the Punisher.
On
The
that
Punisher's
scene,
a criminal, but is he really?
yeah, but I guess they hunting criminals. But there's that moment that the officer of the law is like, stop it! If you remember, what's the limits? How far they can go past the line of the law.
Yeah.
And anyways, but if you know someone autistic in your family or friends or social group, and you wanna say something, go ahead, say something. We would like to know.
Yeah, really, really curious.
Because as far as I know, there's no protests of those groups and associations about this movie. Like, it happens with any other movies.
This is
that
true,
touch.
yeah.
But if you're part of that group of people, even indirectly, and you wanna shout out something, let us know. We will talk about it. But
yeah, I am really curious because there were a couple moments just like, oh, this is cool, and then other moments like, I don't know. But overall, all that aside, although like the slightly overthinking stuff, I do think this was a very fun. It was fun and entertaining, and we've got puzzles to solve. It sort of drifted into a couple cliches a few times, but they're entertaining cliches.
Yeah.
So I'm not too mad about it. John Bernthal. His character was, I thought, very funny in this one. He delivered pretty much what you would expect from John Bernthal, and
yeah,
everybody was great. Ben Affleck, this role works for him.
If they does down Bernthal's character in the sense that on the first one he was like brutal, enigmatic. For most of the movie, you would think he was the bad guy.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, him. I would say, oh no, this is straight up criminal.
Yeah, and then at the end there's the twist, there's the revelation. If you don't know, I'm talking about, you didn't see the movie, and if you see the movie you would remember, but I'm not gonna tell you.
Yeah.
So
you really should. The first one is phenomenal.
And they dose up Affleck's character, like I mentioned before. He's very trying to do more to fit in, like in the first one. And dancing. There's a scene of him dancing. It's quite entertaining.
Yeah, it was goofy. It was funny. I leaned over to him. I was like, "That's Batman."
And but it's fun. It's entertaining. There's a twist at the end or at the beginning of the third act that once we start watching the movie, I got the plot all set in my mind. It was not that complicated, even though because of that. It drags a little because you're ahead of the storytelling. So, but they compensate for that with very entertaining moments between brothers.
Entertaining and also kind of heartwarming, like as they learn to understand each other and learn like what they need from each other, and that was a really nice dynamic.
But besides that, at the beginning of the third act, there's a plot twist, a revelation that I thought it was good because it was like, it wasn't in a very because usually it's like too obvious or a little bit obvious. This time it was not.
Yeah, there is one moment where you're like, oh duh, but up until that moment you would have no idea, and it's not because they're like being sneaky and hiding anything from you. Like we're watching The Residence, which is a really fun murder mystery, but they hide information from you until like a flashback when they're suddenly like, oh, now you can see the whole thing, and that I don't enjoy. That feels like a bait and switch sort of cop out.
There's something clear that you could see, but you didn't see the first time. Not because you didn't pay attention. It's because they purposely hid it.
Yeah,
and it was like, come on, that's just
that's cheating. No fair. No fair. But no, this one, like you have all of the same information that the accountant has. Yeah.
Literally from minute one.
It's all right there.
Yeah. In front of your eyes for you to see.
That's how you do a good like mystery heist.
And I thought I was like, wow, that's I like it. Overall was fun, action packed. We see both heroes or anti-heroes fighting their staff, their supporting crew does terrific job. Is entertaining, is fun. It's the Accountant 2. Everybody from the first one came back. Writer, director,
except
the
Anna
cast.
Kendrick.
What's her character was?
Yeah, it was a one shot.
They couldn't justify bringing her back. Why?
This is true. I just feel like if you're gonna say everybody, we got to be clear. Like except her.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. Anyways, The Accountant 2 is available in theaters. Have you anything else?
No, I mean, our theater was packed. Everybody seemed to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Especially for a Thursday night. I don't always judge a movie success based because of when we go see them. We usually go see them at kind of weird times during the week. So, like, it makes sense that there wouldn't be a lot of people there. But on a Thursday night, there were a ton of people.
That theater was like, there was people going to see the movies. It was like, what's going on?
I don't know. I don't know. But we weren't the only ones who had a good time, is all I'm saying. All right. It's been a good... You
want to talk about Dying for Sex?
Oh, yeah, we should.
Okay, so we watched this new Hulu show, FX. Hulu FX or FX Hulu show called Dying for Sex. It's a terrible name, especially because these things pop on Disney Plus for kids.
Yeah, this is a weird thing.
Frozen, Dying for Sex.
Yeah. It was bad enough when like Shogun would pop up, but nothing about Shogun.
What do you mean?
Like
cutting heads?
No. The thumbnail. Nothing about the thumbnail was like, it was just like, oh, cool Japanese history show. Yeah. But Dying for Sex is like, this does not belong.
So the name is actually very, very fitting for what the show is. It's about based on a true story on a podcast of a lady and her friend that go through cancer. I mean, one lady goes through cancer. The friend is there to support and help. And at that point of her life, because I don't know, cancer messed up with her life, with her head, or because her life was already messed up.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
She goes into this so-called sexual journey, and
not from Milan to Minsk.
Yeah,
she stays in New York City.
From Bronx to Harlem.
Yeah.
Going to Staten Island, and anyways, so no New Jersey because come on, she was not. An
That's just ridiculous.
But she is basically it. Her journey through death, as the name says, dying, and her sexual adventures, dying for sex.
Yeah, trying to find some fulfillment, trying to have some experiences that she had never been able to have, and so.
And it has good things.
Yes.
It has like some really bad things.
Yes.
And Michelle Williams is the main character. She portrays the main character.
Jenny Slate plays her best friend. Amazing.
Who else? We have Peter from Deadpool, who has like a very, very fun actor name. Can you check here real quick? I can't remember, but I was like, oh, that's an actor's name. But it's just Peter. We also have all the familiar names from all the TV shows.
Rob Delaney.
Rob Delaney.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, what's the name of the doctor?
The doctor, David Rash.
David Rash, famous from doing other comedies and being a lot of things. And,
yes.
And of course, the husband is the Duplass brother.
Yes, Jay Duplass.
Anyways, so it's based on a true story. This became a podcast of the two friends going through this, and then they adapted this. They take, they do the standard explanation that this is based on true story, but we changed names and places of characters for protect the innocent. For instance, they moved the whole story from LA to New York, and there's people that have like completely no names. There's this guy. There's the neighbor. Was next door neighbor? Isn't
Yeah,
that what they
the
call it?
neighbor.
The neighbor.
Yeah. In
Uh,
fact, I think that's how he was credited.
which was a compilation of several different characters in moments of this person's life. So if anything, the real story might be a lot more pervy and disturbed because they compiled that in one. So, but anyways,
Yeah, so okay, so I feel like the big negative of this show, we'll just get out of the way, is how much they like explicitly showed on screen. I don't feel like that really helped it. We've skipped through a lot of scenes that just like they just show you everything. Not necessarily nudity wise, but just an array of acts that I don't feel like added a lot to the story that they could have like talked about or alluded to or implied. And I feel like we've talked about that on the podcast before. Some things are better left implied. I know usually show don't tell, but this anyway. So I feel like and he'd even mentioned like some of it seemed like an excuse for like softcore porn. Like we left narrative behind and got into just like straight up
and it is what it
pseudo-porn.
is. It is what it is. It's exactly that. But some people will claim it's not the same. It's art.
Sure.
It's part of the story.
They can claim that, and we'll still be
BS.
right.
It's like Seth Rogen saying that his movies are art. And
oh yeah,
it's funny on the studio, but it's funny because that applies to his movies in real life.
It's like yes, Pineapple Express.
In both cases, they're not.
Yeah. I felt the same way in Disclaimer. There were scenes that were important, like moments. Yeah, the sex scenes went from like, okay, here's what happens in the story, to just like, oh no, this is pornographic. Anyway, so that aside. I feel like the story itself is really interesting and compelling because basically what we have is this woman who is now like the show starts with her finding out that her cancer has come back and this time it's terminal, and she has like at most maybe 5 years to live. So she's coming to grips with her mortality. She's still trying to fight the cancer and going through the treatment, kind of realizing like things in her life that she kind of fixates on this whole like sexual experience she wants to have, but really what's going on is just a whole lot of trauma and relationships and everything else from her past that she needs to heal from. And so it's this, and on top of that is the whole thing of like she is dying, and then there's also the journey of her friend who's like doing everything she can to help her for Molly, but is also falling apart in her own personal life. Anyway, there's a lot going on that makes this interesting and compelling. That and like the whole sexual thing I feel like is just kind of on the surface. There's so much going on underneath that.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it started out really good. In the middle it was just like kind of icky. And there were moments where I couldn't tell like, is this bad writing or are these people just making bad decisions? I think it's just them making bad decisions. Because then by the end I feel like we got back to I feel like it had a good resolution.
Yeah, it is. There's definitely some bad writing concerning how things move and how things work. She says she goes to therapy with her husband and bye, I don't want you anymore, and leaves. And then I think cuts to a couple episodes later.
To be fair, the husband was not amazing.
I'm dating someone. And she's pregnant, and things like move like. It's and again, if the husband was not amazing, because they wrote him this way, right? They wanted to completely undermine him as a person and make her the hero of the story, and they did that in a way. The things are very very fast and very everything that the writing considers not important, it throws away like really quick, which we see, and it was like. That doesn't make sense. That's not how reality is. But again, I guess they escape reality a little bit, if anything. And the whole sexual thing, it's at the same time. There's some funny moments. There's some crazy things you see. It doesn't really reflect her journey, but this woman, like any other woman out there, they have cancer and has to fight through it, and throughout that has problems with their families, either moms or dads or husbands, and friends, and I mean this one doesn't have any friends. She has one, and that's the whole story about. At least, and that's not the thing. At least on this interpretation, maybe she has many other friends, but one stick it out. But the whole thing about this became a podcast and then became a TV show is because of the sex, right? Sex sells and people buy it. That's why people listen to the podcast. That's why people created the show and people watch the show. If she didn't have that aspect, like
it would
many
be a major downer.
like many other people with cancer that goes through, I don't know, Breaking Bad experiences or sexual experiences, it wouldn't become a thing. Nobody would listen, nobody would see it, and I guess it was. I'm not saying she did that on purpose, but that aspect alone make it become a thing. Because there's cancer everywhere. People die of all sorts of cancers in many different ways. And it would still be a great story, right? How her friend stuck up for her and she dropped everything, career, relationship, and it was there for her to the very end. But without the sex, Hollywood and even the podcast sphere probably wouldn't care much to become a thing. So
yeah, that is like kind of the twist, the packaging that makes it appealing.
Yeah.
And it kind of grabs your attention.
Yeah, because you still could make a funny moments of someone going through cancer, but the sexual element was the hook for they not they creating the podcast. Maybe it was. Maybe they say, hey, we should talk about this, sex and the dying moments of your life or something like that. I don't know. But that was what brought attention to people. Like, wait, right? This is not a woman dying. This is a woman dying, but still having sex, and became a podcast and it became a show.
Yeah,
yeah. But overall, was interesting. Michelle Williams it's a good actress, even though I think she has cachet. She has power. She had a lot of. Not knowing on details, I'm pretty sure she had a lot of power of decision on this, because with all the nudity, we actually don't see her naked ever.
There's very little, if any, female nudity.
Yeah, and also she doesn't.
So much man parts.
And she doesn't lose her hair. So and she go full on treatment on what's it called, radiation chemo.
Yeah, I was curious about that. Like, she has a lot of energy for someone going through, but also there's some pretty major ellipses. Like at one point, well, you'll see. I don't want to like spoil anything, but there are some pretty significant ellipses. So it could be that we just like didn't see those parts. But yeah, she did not lose her hair, and that was not a wig. Yeah. There are things that people can do. People are figuring out like ways to not lose your hair.
Oh yeah.
But they didn't really talk about that at all.
Because the people don't actually lose their hair, right? Yeah. They lose a little bit and then they decide to shave.
No,
you lose completely.
You can, yeah. So the shaving is just like, let's just skip the awful middle part.
Okay.
But yeah, it can come out.
Anyways.
But anyway. Yeah.
Dying for Sex and Effects show, so it's really well produced. It has some besides everything, it has some major, I was like, what the heck? But and besides the nudity as well, but it's interesting. It could be shorter. It's 8 episodes. I think it could be 6 or even 5.
Agreed. 6 would be good.
And yeah. But anyways, Dying for Sex is available on Hulu. It's an FX show on Hulu. Yeah. You should check. It's not bad. I mean, there's bad stuff. A lot of bad stuff.
It's not for everyone. The Return.
The Return. You want to talk about The Return?
Yeah, okay. I thought it was worth a shot.
Yeah. I mean, it's because it's not new, but
I guess. But it's not.
But yeah, we can talk about The Return.
We watched it this week.
The Return show with Ralph Fiennes reunited with Julia Binoche. She's French. Binoche. You sure? Yes. She's not German.
Juliette Binoche.
Juliette Binoche.
Sure.
They reunited. they were together on English Patient.
Oh yeah.
I think she won an Oscar for it. I think she did. I don't think he did. Anyways, so this one is the return of Odysseus to Ithaca.
Yeah, so this picks up at like the very end of Homer's Odyssey. We've got Penelope, Telemachus, beset by just horrific suitors, almost literally eating them out of house and home, waging terror and destruction on the island. And Odysseus is washed up on the shore alone. He's trying to figure out, his path back. And of course, this story is like thousands of years old. So if you don't know the story by now, that's on you. There's some marvelous translations and also like text adaptations where they write it more as prose. So it's super accessible to read both the Odyssey and the Iliad and all that good
especially
stuff.
there's coming a new version of
Yes.
Odyssey by Christopher Nolan.
I can't wait.
That it might be good. It might be okay, right? Nolan does good things, so. Yeah.
I have such high expectations for this.
Yeah.
I may be setting myself up for massive disappointment.
No, he doesn't disappoint. I don't think so.
He hasn't yet, but he also hasn't taken on
It's like I want to see people.
the story.
When I see people saying that it's like the lowest the lowest his career was the Batman trilogy, the Dark Knight trilogy, and I was like, oh really?
No.
It's this. It's probably the best superhero movie ever to date.
Yeah.
And if that was his lowest,
That's his low point.
yeah. Of course, some people hated Tenet, but because it was confusing for them. But
yeah.
anyways.
Anyway, this movie. So this one is it's very understated. It's European, so I feel like everything is like very understated. The production design was beautiful, like great. I felt like costumes and weapons and shepherds and all this cool stuff, and where they shot and Penelope weaving. They hit all the high points of the story. I thought it was really well done. They did take all the mythology out of it. In the story, Athena comes to Odysseus because she's a big fan of Odysseus, right? She's kind of his patroness, and so she comes to Odysseus and equips him to wage war against the suitors. But in this one, he's all on his own. We do see Telemachus like sail away, but we don't really like follow his story at all. We just stay.
Nolan will not abandon
the mythology,
right?
I hope not.
Yeah, because I heard what he wanted was Robert Downey Jr. for Poseidon.
Okay, I don't really care. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah,
I trust him at this point.
I don't think RTJ took it. But I think there was like a rumor that he would. But I mean, there's so many names there. We'll see.
Yeah. And I feel like if you're going to tell the story of the Odyssey, you really do need... Like this particular moment, I feel like they told the story really well. And they got into other things like, like the PTSD and just the absolute waste of human life that war is and all this other stuff. Anyway, I'm rambling. The movie was good. I thought it was well done.
It was good.
And it makes me want to read the Odyssey again. And
I mean,
makes me excited for Nolan.
Very talented people. Very well directed. I don't think they have any set. I think that was all on location.
It looked like it, yeah.
And it looked beautiful. It was good.
Yeah. I don't really have any.
Yeah, you should check. The Return is available on streaming. This one is specifically on Paramount Plus. You should check it. It's did it really take him 20 years to go back?
Yeah, so they get to Troy, they lay siege for 10 years, and then at the very end of the siege, the siege was 10 years, and then Odysseus at the very end of the siege kind of disses Poseidon. And then Poseidon gets mad, as the Greek gods do, and he kind of condemned them to this 10-year journey back.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah.
The Return is available on Paramount Plus. Ralph Fiennes and
Juliette Binoche.
Rafe.
Not
me. His brother is Joseph, right? No, not him.
Correct.
Okay. And Juliette Binoche. Okay.
Sure. Okay, it's been a good first quarter for some of the media. Warner Brothers Discovery, their viewership grew in March because of March Madness and also White Lotus. So, good for them. Netflix stock hit an all-time high in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Up 98%. It's kind of bananas. And Alphabet, this is the Google parent company, they also had an amazing first quarter. They went up 46%. YouTube also broke their own records for, I don't know, revenue, whatever, during the first quarter.
Yeah.
So
It's things are going good.
people are watching
Really
stuff.
great. It's like someone is trying to make America great again, right?
Oh my
but yeah, it's things are improving.
Mm-hmm.
If not a tactile improvement, is like the spark of hope, right? Is making everything getting back, if not to normal, to a better position, and people investing more, spending more, and yeah, things are getting better.
You could say that.
Yeah.
You could also spin it that as people look to the world with more and more despair, they're willing to spend more money on entertainment to just escape the mess.
If was that during the Biden years, Hollywood would be like triplicate, fourplicate the money.
Anyway, excuse me. Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down in August.
Yeah, there's rumors that she's gonna step down in August. There's this whole celebration going. I mean, it's over now. What's going in Tokyo, and they also announced the celebration is coming back to LA after 20 years. It's coming back.
Oh yeah, 20 years. Yeah.
Coming back after 20 years, where it first started 50 years ago, and yeah.
Yep. So are these rumors, or is this actually an announcement? Because it's been rumored before that she was stepping down.
Yeah.
And then she said absolutely not.
There's a rumor, but we'll see.
All right.
Disney is losing a lot of money with Star Wars and Marvel, and there's only so long you can stay. It's like even the best coach, if the team is losing season after season, it's like he's not gonna stay. They're gonna kick them out. So, and yeah, there's nothing she can do so far. For instance, Warner Brothers was going to a crisis. And the two CEOs, Henry Luca and I can't remember their names.
Yeah, me neither.
They're about to be kicked out. But then two miracles came to save them. And it was Minecraft that is still doing very well.
What the heck?
The
That
box
trailer
office.
looked so bad. I don't get it.
And the new Sinners, Ryan Coogler movie, there's also did very well. That did more than 50 million on opening weekend, and that is like now they're okay. But Disney, Marvel, Star Wars is not getting a break, and the head of Star Wars is Kathleen Kennedy, who does not put up much out. So every time she does, it fails. So in that case, yeah, her head might be rolling on August. And if she's smart, she would just ask to leave and maybe create her own company, like Amy Pascal did at Sony.
There you go.
In the case of Kevin Feige, he puts out so much that the losses are diluted. If I make sense. Like for instance, the new Daredevil Born Again is having terrible numbers.
It's not doing well.
So Disney Marvel is not increasing, especially if the big fail of Snow White. But we'll see. Next week is another chapter in the Marvel struggle to get to the top.
Thunderbolts?
With Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
We'll see if that one helps or if it doesn't. But definitely the hopes for things like Fantastic Four in the summer. There's not good chit chat. There's not good talks about it. People are saying, yeah. Nobody is excited for it.
It's true. I'm not seeing anybody talking about Fantastic Four. I haven't seen anybody talk about Daredevil Born Again. Like even in places where there are like the diehard Marvel fans who like the people who were excited about Morbius and who were still excited about it after they saw it. Even those people aren't like Yeah. I'm not seeing
But
it.
we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rumor has it that Emilio Estevez says he wrote A Mighty Ducks 4 and that Disney passed on it.
Yeah.
Which, freaking
It's
tragic, man. Those movies are such a big part
and
of
then
my
they made
childhood.
that show. That was okay.
Yeah,
Season
it was
1.
fun.
Season 2, he didn't come back. He didn't want to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And they put, who they put? There was oh gosh, was John Stamos? It was some.
Maybe. I don't even remember. It was super forgettable.
No, we didn't see the second season.
Oh, okay. That explains it.
But,
I don't really care if we do.
It was like, yeah. Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, too bad.
Yep. They are working on the pilot for Holes, a show on Disney Plus. They've cast Greg Kinnear, Adie Bryant, and Shea Rudolph.
And again, on the sequel of Disney failing, they're gonna remake that one. It's like, should they? I don't think they should. I think the story.
They should. The book is very popular, and that movie is a widely beloved and acclaimed. A successful movie and a good adaptation.
Yeah.
It's a rare. Yeah, it's a rare success. Or not rare success. Anyway, I feel like they did a good job the first time. So why are we gonna come back?
Yeah. And again, they're gonna, trying to count on the popularity of the original source materials, either the book or the original movie. They gonna remake when they, I don't know, they shouldn't, but they own the property, they want to make more money out of it, and they gonna try to use this less risk environment to push the stupid agendas they do. They already announced that the main character will be a boy, but it's actually a girl. No. It's a girl. There's actually a boy. So it's a trans character. So they're taking liberties and pushing their agenda that, it's proven that people don't like it. So it's going to be another hit on the face. For one, another one they tried recently that we still didn't watch, but I hear so many bad things about it that I'm not curious to see, is the one, oh gosh, the one with the midgets. No, that's not white. Time Bandits. Yeah, there's a series on Disney Plus, but I only hear terrible things about it. We might eventually see it, but not in a hurry.
Interesting.
So Disney, until they change their ways, and that might not happen until they actually change the CEO, which Bob Iger's not going anywhere anytime. But because again, we talked about the numbers, and even when the numbers are bad, they still get a raise, right? So it's like, well, I want to go, I make things up, I screw up, and I still get a raise. So, anyways.
Okay, that's enough of Disney. For now, they're still just doing their Disney thing. In the meantime, Netflix has set The Age of Innocence and Unaccustomed Earth series adaptations, and they did renew Sweet Magnolias.
Yeah.
So that's all happening. And Sarah Michelle Gellar and Elijah Wood have joined the cast of Ready or Not, Here I Come.
Yeah.
A well-named sequel, if ever I heard one.
Yeah. Sarah Michelle and her husband, Freddie Prinze Jr., they are also coming back for the new installment of I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Okay. Which, is this all the same summer that they're talking about?
No, they're older.
Summers?
They're older.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's a different people.
So they just keep doing shady stuff all summer.
I think it might be the same either a copycat of the original villain, and they show up. It's like, I've seen this before, last summer. Some summers ago. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a fun plot twist. Now they're the ones who know. Anyway, okay, what's going on with Matt Reeves and the Batman?
Oh, there's it's not moving anywhere. At first, there was rumors that he had cancer. No, they didn't say cancer. There was rumors that he had health problems akin as the ones that Chadwick Boseman had. Chadwick Boseman had, which was cancer.
Cancer, yeah.
And there's Edward Pattinson. Is that his name? Right?
Robert Pattinson.
Edward
Edward Cullen was the role.
Robert Pattinson is set to be in Dune, so that Dune Messiah. So that means he's gonna be unavailable. they talked to Andy Serkis, and he said, "I would love to be on it, but it's up to the director." So it's like uncertainty. James Gunn said, "No, it's gonna happen," but we know James Gunn wanted to destroy everything DC to make his own universe, and there's like pushing and pushing and pushing, and the movie is not moving. And now there's this rumor that Matt Reeves said that what's he said?
Let's see. Oh, that he's gonna. If there's another delay, that he might just leave.
Yeah. So, and if he leaves, why bother, right? It's his. It's like he took so many liberties
very specific
and
vision.
made the Batman the way he wanted. To give it to someone else would be just. But again, the studios might say, "Hey, buddy, we made money. We can make money. Let's make another one." And boom, like they did to the Joker, and you saw what happened there. So. And the Joker
or
was
if you're
the
lucky,
same.
you didn't see what happened.
And the Joker was the same production, creative team from the first one. So we'll see.
No. Okay, Michael Bay is going to direct a Sydney Sweeney produced video game movie adaptation of Outrun.
Yeah, the video game. And yeah, we'll see.
Okay, what is that game? I don't know that game.
It's the Outrun.
So you run faster than other
race,
stuff?
It's race.
Oh, okay.
It's cars.
Got it.
I mean, it has cars. Everybody loves cars. Which reminds me, where the heck is the next Fast and Furious? Why it's taking forever? And then on a cliffhanger.
Like 6 months.
And then on a cliffhanger. No, it's been like years.
Yeah, I know. It was a joke, a little hyperbole.
But it's more like a hippo bully. Right? Hyper is stretching.
Yeah.
Hippo is like a hippo bully.
I gotcha.
So it has cars people love. It has Sydney Sweeney who is in top of her game. Everybody loves her.
Yeah, she's done well.
It's based on a video game, so there's action involved, and there's Michael Bay, so there were plenty of flares and explosions. So and it's been a while since we've seen.
It's true. This seems like a good place for Michael Bay to go.
He could create a franchise.
He could. He's done it before.
Yeah.
He's done it before. I know I make fun of Michael Bay a lot. Anytime there's a gratuitous explosion, it's like Michael Bay.
Oh.
But he's made some really fun movies.
Yeah, he's successful at what he does. He's not trying to do Shakespeare or do art, right? Or maybe it's art, like Seth Rogen claims.
I don't know. And there could be different kinds of art. There's for funsies art. There's rip your heart out art.
For funsies art.
Yeah.
I want to see the for funsies art that Da Vinci did.
I don't know. Maybe he's got the guy anyway. Doesn't matter. Moving on.
Mozart. Oh, today I'm gonna do for funsies art.
Yes, Mozart absolutely did stuff for funsies. He wrote comedic operas.
Okay.
He also wrote like the really intense ones, but I mean.
Okay, let's move on from art.
Okay. There's a spin-off of FBI coming out called CIA. It's going to star Tom Ellis.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to start at 25-26
It almost
season.
gives me like a desire to watch it just because it has Tom Ellis.
It might be kind of fun.
Yeah.
You know,
But
CIA,
I mean,
spies.
it's kind of jump in a spin-off of a show that's established. It causes me trouble because I would want to watch the show, the expired. That's why I never got into CSI. Not CSI. CSI as well. I actually never watched CSI. I watched a couple episodes. One at Tarantino directed and some other here and there. One when I was at home and before streamings, before the dark times, when we only had linear TV and it was on. I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch this. But Law and Order was like, there's people obsessed with Law and Order, SVU and SBTU and SBT and DST and all those. And yeah, I never tried because it's like.
But I think a well-done spin-off you don't really need. Like Frasier, you don't have to watch Cheers ever at all to enjoy Frasier.
Yeah, but you should.
I mean, yeah, Cheers is a good show, and it's an American Icon. But like, if you do the spin-off well enough, maybe like the first couple episodes, but after that, like a good spin-off should establish itself as its own show, and it'll be fine.
And then Frasier did. They actually changed his character quite a bit on Frasier. But anyways, so yeah, Tom Ellis is coming to CBS anytime soon. CBS?
Okay. Yep, CBS this fall. Okay, McKenna Grace has joined the Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping.
She will be a tribute. She will volunteer as a tribute for District 12.
Well, she might not volunteer, but yeah, she'll be.
Wait, don't all the... I know they not volunteer.
Yeah.
Well, they sort of do, right? They pointed
no,
out,
they have
it's
to
you.
put their names in.
Yeah. But when they pick one, it's like, it's you. They don't run away. They don't refuse.
Well, they don't really have the chance to. Everybody else is like, great, wasn't me. Here you go. Like, you don't have that choice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
On the birds,
yeah.
Hunger Game, the binging birds and the sleeping, reaping weavings. What's it called?
Sunrise on the Reaping.
Yes, Sunrise. That's what I said.
The book is apparently very good. I look forward to reading it. Okay.
It's out?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I thought you would write this book for this new movie. Isn't that... So it's already out.
I think so.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that. I haven't done a great job of keeping up with them. Okay. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and whatever has released a new rule that I think the entire world thought was already a rule because it feels like one of those things you shouldn't have to say. And the rule is that you have to watch the films that you vote for.
All the films.
All the films, yes.
Which is I don't know how this gonna be.
Because, I don't know how they would enforce that.
Because at the same time, yeah, sure. I mean, they could. You have if they make the whole, and I know part it is the whole vote electronically. You know, because Honor Code in Hollywood. Come on, of course.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are you gonna say? Like, did you watch the movie? Yes or no?
No. But if it's electronically and they receive the movies via a special streaming network they have, and you watch the movie, and only when the movie ends, you get a check mark for that movie on the list of movies. So only then you could vote.
Then you just hit play and then go do other stuff.
That's true, but it's like.
It's like when you like scroll through the there's some like terms and conditions.
It's not a lot of work now watching the movie to vote. You know.
I don't. Yeah, sure, but I'm saying like there's no real way to like actually enforce it unless you can't vote.
Yeah.
Unless you've attended this screening that we have hosted and we know you were there.
Too, yeah. And again. But at
the end of the day, like, shouldn't they have been watching these all along?
It kind of
makes the Oscar.
It's risky. The Academy is a whole mess. Its vote is like an election, and all elections are messed up. And and there's this thing that only people that saw all the movies can vote. That might mean that only the uber nerd, professor, master in film will be able to vote, and that guy might have some weird taste, you know. I remember when was it Coppola? No, I remember when was it Coppola? I'm not gonna check that one now, but I remember when Shakespeare in Love won against Saving Private Ryan. Right? It was like Saving Private Ryan's such a better movie. It's universal. It's truthful. I mean, not that Shakespeare wasn't truthful, but they took a lot of liberties there. But it was politics. Was Harvey Weinstein at the height of his power, and influencing people and the proper gift baskets and stuff. It's. I don't know. There's a risk that only the ones that see the movie voting, that people will be bought to watch the movie or do this strategy you say just to be able to get the votes, and it's not going to be truthful to the quality of the movie or to the popularity of the movie. Not that there's
what would that like? How is that any different from what we have now? I don't think this is actually going to change anything.
Yeah.
I suspect that unless they like actually go to some extreme lengths to like make people come to screenings, there's no real way they can enforce that. If people weren't watching the movies that they were voting on before, I don't think they're going to do it. Like, I don't think it's going to change anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
it's Academy is a whole mess. It's been forever since they put out like, oh, this movie is really good, and one. It's usually like, this movie is really good. Oh, but is it good as Parasite? Cause yeah, and no, it's better than Parasite because Parasite was a scam. So as many others.
It was fine.
No, not for
Not Best Picture worthy,
no.
but it was fine.
Yeah, it was like a, I don't know, streaming movie. Yeah, and that's how we watch. But anyways, anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, that's it for this week. We come back next week for pop culture news and entertainment. May the force be with you.
Live long and prosper.
Bye.
Bye.